Hey everybody, Rex here. We're having a great day, and today we're going to be finishing up. This is part 3, and we'll be finishing up the Dilophosaurus today. All right. So first, just make sure that you have covered everything in Elmer's glue at this point. I have it still drying on the hands and stuff, so I'm not going to use them right now. And this is the foot that kind of it stands. One of these feet fall over. It's this one that falls, but that's okay. Like I said before. So now we're going to be putting on the top roof, and this is the hardest step of the entire thing every time. So we'll see how well this works out. So what you want to do is we're going to fiddle around here a little bit, but you're going to want to have this tip, and we're going to glue it down right there and curve it like that. You don't need to try to glue it around this. We're not doing that. We're doing it right there. And we're going to have to bend it and cover it down, and it'll be like that. Alright, so this is a little difficult. Make sure you got your hot glue ready to go here. I might have to grab another glue stick, because this one's kind of short, but we'll try to get it down here. Just move all these other pieces off to the side. Again, this is the very last step with these pieces. Alright, we'll move this off to the side here. And this is very difficult. Trying to line this up perfectly. Okay, so here we go. I'll try to keep this on camera as best as I possibly can. It's always been difficult doing this. So we'll just see how well it works out. I'm going to actually put the hot glue down here. This is really tiny, so I don't know how well we'll be getting this on here, but we'll give it a shot. Okay, get that down right here, and it is going to be a little fiddly until we get it really down secure, so don't worry if it kind of gets messy and a little floppy, because once everything gets secured, we can go back in and repair anything that needs to be repaired. Alright, so we're all good there. Apply some more hot glue down. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it on camera, but it's a little difficult. Just like so. Curve it up, get it attached here. Also, you want to make sure that it's close to the brim as possible. It's okay if it's messy, because this is a messy step here. Let's get it on there quite well, and then down here you can also come in and reinforce it so it stays nice and secure. Then we'll just keep going down here. Boom, boom, boom. Attach, attach, attach. I also want to thank all the new subscribers. Hello. And anybody who's just checking out the video. Hello. Appreciate all you guys' comments. And thanks for checking out the channel. Alright, and if you can hear that, I don't know if you can, but my brother's got a new musical instrument, and he's practicing with it, so if you do hear it, that's what that noise is. If you do. I don't know if you can or not. So we'll just keep on putting the hot glue, burning my fingers. I burn my fingers a lot with this. It's not like super extrusionary heat, but it does have a little bit of warmth to it. Okay, well that wasn't too bad of an attachment. It is kind of messy, as you can definitely see. And so you want to go through with your, I put my little scissors away. Whoops, because I wasn't completely ready here, but you can go through your X-Acto knife, clean this up, and take your hot glue and smooth it out as well. But I'm not going to do that till I get both sides on. And I did mess up. I forgot to make the holes, so I'm going to put a little dot there, because we need room for the arms to go in, right? So I'm going to be very careful not to hurt myself. Okay, there we go. And then I'll just go over here before I forget, do the same thing. Put a little dot here, put a little pressure down. Okay, there we go. Now if you also wanted to, you could make the legs move, but for me, I'm not going to. Alright, so let me just grab some other stuff and we'll get back into it. Alright, so now that I got my tools here, I can get down to cleaning this guy up, but I probably won't do that on camera just because I don't need to. Also, just make sure that you get a nice sealant underneath here. Yeah, this looks pretty good. At the tip here could be a little more worked on, but that's okay. So now you want to take the other side and glue it down exactly the same way. Line it up and glue it down. This may be difficult, but just do the same thing you did here onto this side. I'm not going to show this part just because I've already done one side for you. So you can just do the other side. Let's just do it the same way. You just have to kind of fiddle with it. Because mine, I'm going to have to pull it up and work on it a little bit here. So once we get both sides attached, we'll move on to the next part. Alright? Okay, so at this point, you should have both sides attached. I did a good thing I didn't do this on camera. It was so difficult to do. Yeah, it would have been really difficult to film that. So once you get around filling with it, you're gonna have all this excess plastic hanging off. So just go around and cut all it up. And what you can also do with it is you can take your hot glue gun and really big pieces like this. You can smooth out, which will be fine to do. You can just smooth them out or cut them, however you want to do it. I prefer smoothing parts out and then cutting off any leftover stuff after I smooth it out, like so. I also like this part because at this point everything starts coming together. I can start seeing some stuff with this guy. So once you kind of clean it up a bit, you can do different things when cleaning it. Alright, so at this point you're going to want to attach, let's see here, 1 minute, one of my jaws is stuck when I did some gluing, so trying to free it here. Yeah, that's why. 1 minute, please. Oh, that took a while to fix. Yeah, so I had to do a little rearranging with this jaw here. It was causing some problems. But now at this point, what you want to do is put a very little drop of hot glue on one end here, like so. I'll show you what I mean. We're going to put a little drop, very tip, and then we're going to push both of these tips together, like so, and make sure they're lined up. Whoops, sorry. Make sure that you put them both together, like so. You might have to work on it a little bit more, but that's what you want, the bottom jaw attached. And then you want to take your scissors and we're just going to cut off the excess bit there. And there we have the front of the mouth, and the mouth should simple open and close just like that. Yeah. Now it is a little wobbly, but hopefully when we put the bottom section on, we'll be able to fix some of the issues we have here. So that's kind of a look from this side, look from that side, and with the mouth open, like that. Pretty cool. I like it. I like it. I like it. Ooh, this is tiny. Hopefully we can get this to work. Yeah, did a pretty good job putting the top plates on, and like I said, make sure it's nice and smooth. And even if it's not nice and smooth, like right here, there's a secret top coat we put on over this. All right, so at this point, just clean it up, and once you have it all cleaned, we'll move on to the next step, which is putting the legs, because you don't put on the bottom until you get the legs on. Very important. Alright, so, and you'll find out why once we get this guy cleaned up. Alright, see you then. Alright, so look at my Dilophosaurus now. It's all clean and smooth. Yeah, nice and clean. Here's a little ridge kind of coming up over here. Kind of didn't get perfectly lined up, but I like it. That's the top view of it. And also we're going to do some little work with this, with the frill here. Do a little more reposition of that, but I like it. I like this guy. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the feet. And make sure you get the right with the right. This looks like this one's the right foot, and this one's the left foot. Alright, so I'm going to attach the left first because I'm left-handed. And I'm just going to line it up. And what I'm also going to do, because that's where it's lined up, is I'm just going to see kind of where it's going to be. So maybe if I want to kind of reposition it at this point, I can. Just trying to see where I kind of want it. I want it right about there, I think. So at this point, you're going to take your hot glue stick and you're going to fill all the spot in like that. And then you're going to take your part, you're going to put it down, line it up where you feel like you want it. Then you're just going to push like so. Get that leg attached. And there we go. We got one leg. And now we'll go on to the other foot. And again, make sure you have both feet flat when you do this so you can get a nice solid foundation for them both, I guess. Like so. Alright. So now, as you can see with the feet, they're really close together, but that's because of the belly. We're going to spread it out. It looks like the feet aren't exactly in the right spot. Well, spread it out, they work better. Let's see if it stands, even though it's kind of wonky right now. It stands. That's always a good sign. So as you can see here, I have this underbelly kind of drawn out. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to cut it out. And then we're going to kind of modify it. And we're going to slip it in here and work on it. Now, I'm going to show you how to do that. Alright, I didn't show that too well in my other videos, just because I didn't really know how to really do it. But I'm going to show it here. And when we get the belly onto about here, we'll put the little tiny arms on. Alright? Alright, so if you have like a shape like this, is just the top shape here. Cut that out, and then we'll modify it to fit in. Okay, so there it is cut. Now what you want to do is going to make sure that the B's facing this way. Is we're going to slide it in, just like so. And this is just so we can get a nice feel to see where we want this belly to go. And don't worry about this part because we're going to be cutting it right about here. So because we'll still use this part, but we're not going to fill that all in. So we're just going to make sure it's long enough to go to the tip of the tail. Alright, so that looks good. Then we can fold around with it. And the feet, that's a good feet spread. So let's see how well it still, okay, still stands, that's good. And at this point, what you want to do, and because this fits really nice, I like that, not much trimming, you're going to take your pencil, and we're just going to trim off the excess bit here. So it's going to fiddle around here, line it up, and I'm going to go to the tip of the mouth here, and we're just going to do it like that. Line it up back here, same thing. Now, maybe we're going to have to draw another line because if we line it with the tail first, it's definitely different. So, yeah, we'll start with the back and then work our way forward here. Alright, alright. We do want to make sure everything's, let's see. Okay, it'll still be covered up, so that's what we want. It's going to be very close there. But this should work out pretty nicely. So at this point, you just want to cut out the extra bit. I'm going to leave this front piece because we're probably going to need that. And I'm just going to cut the parts that we no longer need. Like that. And I'm going to refit it, and we're just going to see how well it works before gluing it, because we have to make sure everything fits nicely here. And you can kind of see how the head's kind of turned, so I want to make sure and try to straighten that head out a little bit when I put this all in here, so we'll just have to fiddle around with that. But at this point, we can start at the back of the tail and work our way forward. So right when we get to about here, we'll clean it up a little bit more. And it is still a little hanging out here, so I'm going to trim that up a little bit more. And make sure I draw the line nice and dark so I can cut it. Okay, same thing over here. Okay, alright, that should do it. Trimming this is really a pain, so I want to make sure it's nice and flush as possible. A little bit more here. Okay, that's good. Now we can glue it down. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put it down like so. And what we're going to do here is take our hot glue and we're going to pour the hot glue down like this along the edges here, along the edges in here, and we're going to fold this right on down. So let's do this as quickly as possible. So just put the hot glue right on the edge, fill the tail up. That's also important. We're going to make that tail nice and stiff. My glue stick's kind of wonky right now, so I'm just going to do that. Get underneath here, get the hot glue applied. And I'm going to take our bottom section here, slide it in as quickly as possible. Make sure it's lined up with the tail tip. Okay, I'm going to slam it down. Like that. Make sure it's nice and secured. Alright. Yes. Yes, that's good. That's good. It's still, unfortunately, a little off there, but I can still trim it. So now, that's when we get to the head. So at this point, I need to make sure they can still stand, because we're going to have to put some extra. See, now the tail's heavy, so what you want to do here is pour some hot glue into the belly here, and you just want to pour that hot glue in right down here. We're going to add a little more weight to the front of this guy, so just add some hot glue to certain spots, like up in the neck. Not too much, so we're trying to balance this guy out here. Alright, okay, well, let's see. He still wants to fall backwards, so we're still going to put a little more hot glue up here, more up here. Let's see how well that works. There we go, it stands. Alright, so at this point we're going to get the arms in. So get your arms. And we're going to put the pin, just like we did before. We're going to slide the arms in like that. And then we're just going to push the little pins outward. Like so. Boom. Boom. And then we're definitely going to need to cut this one a little bit, so I'm going to come in here, I'm going to cut that. Okay, cut a little bit more, then go over to the same thing with the other arm, slide it in, pull the belly down so you have room to work, push the pin like so, and like that. And we're just going to cut right in here and make it a little bit shorter. There we go. Alright, and now we got the hands in. Pretty sweet. And now at this point we're going to get these arms out of the way, and we're going to glue this right down and make sure that the arms don't get hot glued in. So we just have to be careful when we do this part. This is going to get a little more messy again. We'll put the arms up, and then we'll push this down, get that glued. Okay. Then you can move the arms around just to make sure they don't get glued in there. Okay. And now we are just going to keep on going up the neck. just like that. You clean it up as you go, just to keep it nice and clean. Looking good. Looking good. Making sure I applied enough hot glue down here before we continue up. So we're going to cut this off, because we don't need all that, and I didn't really do a really good job getting the hot glue right along the edge here, so I'm going to put some extra hot glue down. Push that up. Smooth that out. This guy's looking really good. I like it. Let's see if he still stands. Oh, I love it when they can stand. I'm getting really good at them standing. My first few don't really stand all that well. And if you put them in a neutral position, they stand a lot better. A lot better. So I'm just going to take off some excess plastic here, so I can kind of work at this. Curve this up. Just trying to fiddle around here. Make sure I can get this the way I want it. Okay. Okay, right about like that. That's where it's going to end up being. Okay. So now I'm just going to pull this out. Get the hot glue in here. And we should be all good. So I'm just going to apply the hot glue. And now I'm going to push it up into its position. I'm going to use my little X-Acto knife and push it. Whoops, a little too much there. Just a little work on it here. Like that. Definitely needs to be cleaned up there, but as long as the mouth is still open, I'm not too concerned about it. And there we go. The jaw kind of came undone right here a little bit, but that's just little stuff, you know, to fix. Stuff like that happens in the building process. Nothing too major. So let's look at it from here. And the head's a little tilted to one side, but that's not too bad. It's not super noticeable, and it looks fine. I mean, looks good for what it is. And he can stand. Whoop. That's great. The arms can move. These arms move really well. Wow. Look at that. That looks so good. Wow. That looks great. So at this point, if you got this far, give yourself an applause, which is great. Good, good, good. So now what you want to do is cover the whole thing in Elmer's glue. Cover this whole thing, and to make sure that you also, you know, get this sealed up. And this is going to slip over. Now we haven't done it yet, but this is going to slip over this, and this is going to be able to go on and off. So you can have it on, and then you can take it off. So we haven't done that yet because I have to get another piece of cardboard, and we're going to do some test fits. And once we get the shape down perfectly, we'll trace it onto here, right here, and then just cut it out, and it should slip right in there and slip right off. So isn't that going to be cool? Ooh, yes, yes it is. But before we do that, we do want to cover the whole thing in Elmer's glue again, and just clean up all the little excess plastic all over the place. And you can see here the tail needs to be cleaned up a little bit. So how the top looks, we want to do the same thing to the bottom. So yeah, just clean up your Dilophosaurus, and then we'll move on to getting the rest of it put together. Alright? Cool. Okay, so for the final two things we're going to do in this part 3 is we're going to cover this bottom hole right here, and we're also going to give it the frill. So I'm going to use this piece of cardboard just to cut, to make sure this fits properly, and then we're going to trace it onto the frill here, so when you cut this piece to fit, it should slip right in. So here we go. I'm just going to line this up, and then I'm just going to kind of draw out, you know, just roughly pick out where to cut here. And we'll just see how well everything fits and stuff. Just like that. And I probably ought to cut a little bit more, but this is just to give it. Oh, that's way too big. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm going to be doing here. It's just kind of cutting this to see where I need to make this work to where it's not too big, but just the right size. So that's what I'll be doing here. Just fiddling with this until I get it just to where I want it. And a little bit more. Just a little more. Pretty much the problem is it's not straight. So. There we go. That fits pretty good right there. Okay. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to take this and line that up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little dot right here, and then I'm going to make it straighter with my ruler. Something like that. Then I'm just going to cut it. And what I'm going to do is cut just a little bit shorter than it actually is. That way, in case there's a mess up or something, it's not too bad. So now, just see how well that works. That works pretty well, I think. Yeah, I think that fits pretty good. Yeah, I'm down with that. I'm down with that. Alright, so I'm going to go with this fit right here. See how well I can take it off and put it on. I'll do a little trimming here so it slips on a little better. But yeah, that fits pretty darn good. So that's been cut. So I'm going to just set this over to the side. And I will clean this up a little bit here. So I'll just kind of do like that. Do like that. And so it slips a little easier. And boom! You boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that works for me. That works perfectly for me. Okay, so now that we finished that, we're going to put the little tiny flap onto the bottom of the mouth here so it's nice and sealed up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up here like I did before and just draw a line like so. Okay, and I'm just going to cut it out and see how well everything fits. Okay, and get this all out of the way. A little too big, but that's okay. And I'm just going to keep trimming this because this is important to make it exactly how it should be. So I'm just going to trim it here, cut the back off. Fiddle around with it here. Okay. Fit it in. Cut it a little bit more here. It's so small, so tiny, so hard to work with, but it can be done. Yeah, that's good enough. I'll just trim it once I get it put on here. So what I'm going to do to attach this is I'm just going to put the hot glue on here and then put it on there, or I'll do it vice versa. I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing, but we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so I'm going to open the mouth to do this, just to make it a little easier. And I'm going to actually put it on here first, burn my fingers. Okay. And now I'm just going to slap this down here and get this to work. Okay. The mouth. Mouth still moves. Accomplishment. Okay, and there we go. Finally got that attached. It's a little off, but I can just fix that up a little bit with some more hot glue. Put on here. So I'm just going to do that really quick. A little bit right there. Okay. Let that dry before I clean it up. And this is the end of part 3. Part 4 will be coming out next week. Sometime, not sure when. So yeah, this has been part 3, and hope you enjoyed it, and we'll get this thing looking amazing in part 4. Alright, until then. Oh yeah, and also, before I close here, what I want to make sure you do before moving on to part 4 is to cover the whole thing in Elmer's glue, like you see here. Let's see. Yeah, this side's better. You can see these big holes and gaps. You want to fill that in with Elmer's glue. You want to fill every gap and any little blemish with Elmer's glue to make it nice and sealed, and cover everything up that you can possibly can with it. Alright, it's very important that you do that. Alright, so that's been part 3, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in part 4. Until then, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.